Welcome to the first episode of our Reflections from Awakening series. I'm going to talk about how life's little happenings led up to a pretty pivotal moment for me. And it was something that literally cracked me open in a way that has never happened before. And that was basically the cascade event to me fully stepping off the proverbial cliff onto my Ascension journey. I hope this will provide some insight into what the beginnings of a personal awakening can look like. And as the series unfolds, that you will find plenty of clarity, aha moments, and helpful advice along the way. So if this sounds good to you, please stick around as we have some really interesting stuff to talk about today. This really goes back to the fall time of 2019. I had a fur baby that was going through some really serious health issues. Basically, he had cancer, and it was his initial diagnosis. I wanted a healthier way forward for him than just the medicine and the surgery and the high-tech stuff that was a possibility for him. So at that time, we lived in a loft down near the ocean, and him and his younger fur baby brother were sleeping away late at night, probably a little after 11. And I was looking online. I'm trying to find music or sound. I knew I needed a healthier way forward for him. And I wanted to look at what we would call an alternative healing modality. In this case, what I was looking for was sound healing for animals. I wanted a specific type of music or frequency that could help him. I had heard at that point of the way that certain frequencies can change water. It can even make water run in reverse. The idea of frequency, vibration, sound, music, the way it can impact is amazing. At that time, I was also in the corporate world working in health and education. So I was deeply steeped in medicine and technologies, and I even understood at that point, way before I hit my Ascension marker, that frequency, vibration, sound, and music had the ability to really impact a person's health. It could very much impact the body. So much that cancer treatments had looked at certain frequencies that could be applied and actually break up the crystalline matrix, basically blow the cell apart so that it destroys the cancer cell only. Knowing this, I thought, okay, let's look online, let's see what I can find. Sure enough, I had found things such as something called solfeggio frequencies. You will see them out there. It's 432, 528 hertz, and so on. These are what we call sacred frequency. As I was looking through this, it was Reiki music that I was originally drawn to. I found it to be a really soothing and nurturing alternative healing. And so when it popped up again under the guise of animal healing, I thought, oh, this is perfect. So I went through many YouTube videos and looking at all sorts and found some that were even specifically created to assist animals in their healing. As I went into this and I was really trying to drive it home, we were playing Reiki music and solfeggio frequency music day in and day out. And it's a very specific mathematical frequency that is known to align with the body's energy centers or chakras and have very positive healing and nurturing effects when listened to. Now we're into November. It's been a few weeks. So Parker, that's my fur baby, he was struggling a little, but it was kind of up and down, Some weeks were better than others, and I found the music really did soothe him, which was awesome. One night, I'm just watching him sleep. He was all curled up in the corner near the head of the bed, and I was watching him from probably 10, 12 feet across the room, basically from the computer table where I was playing the Reiki frequency. And at that time, I just wanted to send so much love to him, just sending all the intention I could muster his way. I just really wanted him to be healed. I really wanted to send so much love his way that it would just sort of miraculously overcome whatever obstacles were in his body and just wipe them away. Like any good mom, right? So I'm sitting at this computer table and I'm looking at him and he's so peaceful. And I'm like, I'm just so in my heart space and so much wanting to send him love and light and heal him. And it's just this wave of warmth in my mind, like beaming it at him. And I'm just literally like imagining this warmth and this golden glow and just sort of sending it to him like in this rush of energy. And all of a sudden, he wakes up, he looks right at me, and he hisses at me. And I am floored. I think my jaw dropped. I don't even know, to be quite honest with you. In that moment, I went from such a high of this love and warmth and pulling all my energy and just sending it to him to that jaw-dropping moment and such an internal crumbling almost of my energy. It just went like whoosh out the bottom somehow, and it crumbled away. It's how it felt. And all of a sudden, all my emotions went into this deep, almost despair. I was so upset. He'd never hissed at me in his life. I didn't even know he knew how. I really didn't. I was shocked that he knew how to hiss. I was shocked that he was hissing at me. And my brain was just scrambling to make sense of it. And my heart was crumbling and imploding at the same time. It was one hot mess. Let's just put it that way. And I'm sure this all happened over 30 seconds, but it felt like an eternity. And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, my brain kicks in, and I'm like, wait a second. What just happened here? What did I do? Or what did I send his way that woke him from slumber with such a strong reaction? It blew me away. It absolutely blew me away, you guys. I think at first I was so shocked that it happened. And secondly, so shocked that it actually meant that I did something. Then I knew. I'm like, okay, that's enough of that sort of dabbling, if you will. Time for some serious research. And I did. I went down a deep dive rabbit hole, let me tell you. I needed to know what this was. How did I do this? What did I even do? How did I mess with the energy? How did I send it to him? How did he know I was sending it to him? These were the things that I just didn't understand at that time. I didn't get it, and I needed help. So I sought it out. I looked up everything I could find. I really did. And of course, it drew me to some really cool mentors in the end. It even drew me to what is animal Reiki and how to work with those energies, maybe even practicing animal Reiki. I just wasn't sure yet. Where it definitely led me, though, was to a much clearer understanding of where I was reaching into to grab onto that golden, warm, nurturing energy. When I was reaching for it, I was reaching within myself, but I was reaching down into the center of the earth. I was literally envisioning almost like the heat of the earth, or like a lava kind of a heat, the fire coming up, because I think at that point, part of my brain was saying, hey, your kitty here, he loves the warmth and the fire. He really does. Sleeping a foot away from this huge, beautiful fireplace that was on at that time. We always had the fires burning. He loved the heat. So did I. And I thought, I think my brain just defaulted to let's reach for warmth and nurturing and flow like warm, liquid, golden honey. And so I pulled it up from the earth. I pulled it up from what we would call Mother Earth or Gaia, or the inner heavens of inner earth. I just didn't understand it at that time. What it meant is that I had a very close alignment with Mother Earth, with the planet, with the element of fire and earth, And what I further didn't understand was that animals have a very close and intimate alignment with the earth, as it should be. They are nurtured so much by the earth and her frequency and the elements, water, fire, earth, wind, ether, you name it. So when they are sick, they also pull up the warmth of that earth and that fire energy. When I dug deep for that glowing, warm lava, love energy, I was aligning myself with the frequency of the earth, of the fire, of the lava. I just didn't know it at the time. Nor did I understand how powerful that frequency was. I mean, look at a volcano, you guys. Come on. Look at any story on Pele and the Hawaiian goddess. Just look into a fire. You become almost mesmerized by the flames. They are so beautiful. And the warmth that comes from that beautiful fire is so nurturing and so good for the soul. And as it seeps into your bones, it literally melts away anything that may have been bothering you that day. It's a beautiful healing element and frequency, and it's a gift. And that is what started me on my awakening. That is what started me down the rabbit hole of what just happened. What did I just tap into? What is going on here? And little did I know that it really was my first dip of the toe into the quantum, into the field of energy, the field of love that we all have access to. It was also the first time that I, on some level, willingly joined forces with Mother Earth in a very intentional way to draw up her energy with such force and send it out to another sentient being, who of course was Parker at that time. So, this again was literally how it all began. Those are all the different pieces that went into the first part, the first aha moment that I had on my true awakening journey. I hope this was helpful for you guys. I hope you learned something along the way. And I hope it helped you to understand how someone can go through this, what it might look like for someone. Everyone's awakening journey is very different, and the reasons that caused it to come into being are very different. But at that time in my life, my fur baby going through such distress and me wanting to help him so badly, that's what set me on my path. Keeping in mind, there was definitely a whole lot of ego in there. And that's what I would come to understand as my path unfolded. I would have to break down bit by bit until I could get to the true love that was at the heart of it all. The true love that was going to break me wide open. The way that we discover this new energetic world that we live in, the way that we discover the quantum, the way that we start to open up our minds to something else that's out there, it happens in the most interesting of ways. Please know that whatever way it's happening for you, it's the way it's meant to be for you. It's your own personal, unique mix of whatever your soul, your higher self, your guides wanted you to experience. The best way to think about it is this. As you're going through whatever it is you're going through, sit back for a moment and just pretend that you're watching your life like a movie. You're the director or producer. You scripted this. You wrote this for yourself. And you might say, no way, I never would have scripted this for myself. But what if you did? If you did, what do you think it's trying to tell you or get you to do? In what way Is your current circumstance moving you in a certain direction? And don't worry about whatever comes first to mind. Write it down. Things change. It's very fluid over time. But for the moment that you're in the moment that you're actually in it, look at it for what it is. Take a beat and just say, what is this that I'm seeing? What is being reflected back to me in this moment? If you can do that from as neutral a bystander perspective as you can, you're going to have a much smoother ride on this awakening roller coaster that we're all in. So I hope you enjoyed this and that it is really leading you into wondering what's coming next and how this is all going to unfold over the next few episodes. Thank you very much for being here. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.